There's a real line of thinking in marriage therapy that myself and other seasoned therapists have seen, and that's that resentment between the couple will actually replace their desire. This is one reason that couples stop wanting each other long before they ever stop loving each other. They can love each other, they just no longer feel the passion. And the leading cause of that is for real desire between two people who have been in a healthy, happy relationship, is that they feel protected, they feel appreciated, they feel emotionally safe. They can say anything knowing it won't go any further than the two of them. They feel seen, valued, and heard and chosen. These things are incrementally so important to a couple's desire or passion for each other. I mean, if you don't feel those, your body kind of shuts that down. It just doesn't desire the other person. And the thinking is the reason it doesn't is your body is trying to keep you safe. Your brain tells your body, you've been here before and they hurt you and you're going to have to be on guard. You don't want to let that go. Resentment is unprocessed hurt. One of the biggest myths is that resentment is at its anger. It's usually not. Resentment is hurt that never found resolution. It sounds like this in your head: I asked for help and you weren't there. You didn't listen. I always come last. You forget what matters to me. If your spouse has said those things to you, they're hurt. They are hurt. And if you tell them, well, we're like roommates lately, it's probably due to this type of thinking or feeling underneath. Every disappointment that goes unrepaired becomes another emotional brick in a wall of resentment. There's 4 stages of resentment. The first stage is repeated disappointment. One partner repeatedly feels let down. Promises aren't kept, needs aren't heard, repair conversations never happen, and the hurt seems small, but it's repeated, and over time it just builds up. The stage 2 is the emotional withdrawal. Eventually, the disappointed partner stops asking why, because hope becomes exhausting and they think, what's the point? This is where couples often mistake silence for peace. It's usually surrender. They just don't bring it up anymore. Doesn't mean they're happy. Doesn't mean they desire you. It means they're hurt. And until you repair the hurt, it's just going to keep building. Stage 3 is admiration begins to fade. One of the strongest predictors of lasting attraction is admiration. When resentment grows, admiration shrinks. Instead of seeing your partner's strengths, you begin noticing all their weaknesses. You mentally keep score. Your attention becomes selective. Everything becomes evidence that you are alone in the relationship. And stage 4 is the desire quietly leaves. Here's what surprises many couples. Nothing dramatic happens. No affair, no screaming, no huge betrayal. One day, one partner simply realizes, I don't really want to be touched anymore. The body often knows before the mind does. Physical intimacy starts feeling like another obligation instead of a connection. There's psychology behind this that all makes sense. The first thing I want to talk to you about is negative sentiment override. Relationship researcher John Gottman describes something like negative sentiment override. This is when resentment builds, your brain begins interpreting almost everything negatively. You can't think of anything good about your partner. Even a kind action, you become suspicious. What do they really want? It's proof that you don't matter. Like you're looking for ways that you don't matter and you find them. The emotional bank accounts. Stephen Covey describes relationships like emotional bank accounts. So every act of kindness is a deposit. Every criticism, dismissal, broken promises, or ignored need is a withdrawal. So basically, your bank account, you've been withdrawing. You have nothing going into it. You're not crediting it. And the third concept is emotional safety. The nervous system plays a bigger role in attraction than most people realize. When your brain associates your partner with criticism, dismissal, or loneliness, your nervous system shifts toward protection instead of openness. You're busy protecting yourself. You can't get close to this person. You are on guard. You're vigilant. And small resentments matter. Many couples wait for big problems. Ironically, it's usually the little stuff that gets in the way. The dishes never done, the interpreted conversations, never saying thank you, sarcasm, eye rolling, dismissive comments. These things all add up. You're putting bricks in between the two of you instead of taking them down. And the hidden cost of keeping score, believe me, resentment is all over that. When someone is keeping score, they are hurt. They have millions of hurts, little hurts that you just didn't notice. They never heard, I'm sorry. They never heard you matter. They never heard thank you or please, or they didn't hear it enough. They never heard, I plan date nights, or I put the kids to bed. It was always about the other partner's needs. And let me tell you, they begin keeping score. They tell you everything they did every day because they're trying to show you that they are hurt. They feel badly. And if you don't take that bid for connection, you lose it. And resentment builds resentment. It takes you further and further away from the person you love. Sex does not fix resentment. Usually it's the opposite. A healthier relationship creates intimacy. Sex cannot erase emotional injuries that were never acknowledged. And believe me, I've seen people try to use that tactic. You can have great sex, but not be close, and we all know that. So what is the cure for this? Well, the cure is resentment cannot survive where repair becomes a habit. Make it a habit today to start repairing. Go back, ask your partner, I can see that you're hurt. Can you tell me what I did or what's going on? I was wrong. The more you're able to step up and say that, the better your partner's going to come toward you. Or help me understand. What do you need from me right now? When you're honest and sincere and your phone is away from the conversation, so it's just you looking at them, you're beginning to take bricks off of that wall that you built with resentment in between the two of you. Every couple needs to ask this during their relationship if they're trying to undo the harmful effects of resentment. What hurts have been dismissed? What conversations are we avoiding? Where do I no longer feel emotionally safe in this relationship? Have I stopped being curious about my partner? Am I protecting myself more than I'm connecting? The answers to these questions are going to help you get on sure footing so you can begin making a difference with your partner today. You love your partner, but you may not desire them, but that is not a cause to end the relationship. It is a cause for you to begin practicing healthy habits of reconnection, coming toward each other, and working through this like two people you vowed to begin it, to be in the beginning, vowed together to work it out, to love and cherish each other. If this video is helpful for you, please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much.